Sorry, y'all. I didn't give an advance notice that I was going to be doing a live stream, but I'm just kind of thinking and I want to get some things off my chest before I go to bed. Um, okay, so I've talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs in many of my videos, and it's basically a motivational model. It explains human behavior, it explains why humans do what they do. And so, like as I've said in previous videos, only 1% of the population is self actualized. Self actualization is when you reach your full potential as a human being. So um, we have at the bottom, at the base level, is the physiological needs, the need for food, sex. Um, hi, hi, y'all. This is going to be a short video. The need for water, warmth, and then you have safety needs, which includes physical safety, the need for financial safety. Um, and then you have it's called love and belonging, but this hierarchy I'm looking at right now is called they're calling it social needs. But basically, you need to belong to a group. You need to feel that you belong to a family or some organization. Um, and then you have esteem needs, which can be your self-esteem, but you can also get esteem from others, right? Um, And those are basically called the deficiency needs. So what I'm talking about right now is the basic model because the extended hierarchy, which is what I usually reference, has additional elements. But then after the esteem needs, you have self-actualization. Again, self-actualization is when you reach your full potential as a human being. So Abraham Maslow wrote about how self actualization requires one to have a vocation. It doesn't necessarily have to be your job, but it has to be something that you do that actually gives your life purpose. Even if it's not what you use to earn an income, it can be a hobby or something you do on the side. It can be some sort of advocacy or something, right? And so this is the reason why I'm making this video because when you choose your own vocation, right? Is people think that you have free will, but you actually don't, because even if you choose a vocation, the government can prevent you from engaging in that vocation. The government creates barriers to entry. So they're going to tell you that these barriers to entry are for the purpose of ensuring competency, but really is for mere economic protectionism. Sorry, mere economic protectionism. That's a legal term. Um, they create these barriers to entry to protect current practitioners and to keep those who would like to get into that vocation out. Basically, they're creating an artificial scarcity so that they can protect prices, right? There's a lot of professions do it, lawyers, doctors, but also some blue collars do it. Plumbers, hairdressers, the list goes on and on. I mean, I've done other content about this before, but I want to get into the mental health aspect of it or the psychology of it because if you cannot engage in your chosen profession, then you are effectively prevented from self actualizing as a human being. And if you can't self actualize, then your life is not going to have purpose. Now, a lot of people choose jobs just because they want to make money. Some people actually do it because you know, they find meaning in it, and this is what they chose to do. And then the government said no, and then people think that they can just give you some alternative because that alternative is just going to give you money. It's not just about money. It's about having purpose in your own life. So, um, you exist in three different forms or three different tenses: past, present, and future. So, The destruction of either one of these is a form of murder, is a destruction of the self. So when a government restricts your liberty, it is basically killing yourself and your they're basically destroying your future. I think it also means that they're just killing your present. No, no, yeah, if they restrict, if you have a physical restriction of your liberty, then that is a. This is from the philosophy of liberty, which I don't know. A lot of libertarians and anarchists listen to this video, but yeah, it is an act when you kill either one of these, your past, present, or your future. It is an actual murder. So you basically have no purpose, and so you're basically just a shell of yourself, just floating around, going day by day, and your life has no meaning. The government destroyed you as a human being. And people think that it's not a big deal. Oh, you can just go do something else. Because to them, they're not self actualized and they don't care about self actualizing. And so and I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but I'm just trying to explain how important it is to have a job that gives you meaning. You can't just replace it with another job that pays well. So when you decide that you're going to go to school for many years, take out all these student loans, and then at the end of that, the government says, "Oh no, we're going to fuck you over because we don't like the fact that you engaged in certain political activity. You made a lot of you made a lot of enemies. You ruffled some feathers. So now we're going to basically ban you from engaging in your chosen trade, and you're just basically screwed. All that education that you got um, is completely gone out the window. I mean, you can use it for your own benefit, but you can't make a living off of it. So now your life has no purpose. And it's not to say that you can't find something else to do, but it's not ever going to be the same. It's just not. Your life is never going to have any meaning. Um, Let me see if there are any comments. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't planning on making this a long live stream. I didn't want to make a video where I would have to edit, so it's better for me to do a live stream and just get it off my chest and call it a night. But yeah, I realized that people want to help me, and it's like it. At the end of the day, I'm never going to be able to do what I wanted to do with my life. So the government basically fucked me over, and you can say it's my fault, but no, I don't have any control. I don't have free will the way that people pretend. There is no such thing as free will, especially when you live under a system. Unless you live on an anarchy, there's no such thing as free will because the government is basically dictating whether you eat, sleep, or shit. So, yeah, and somebody just gave me an opportunity, but at the same time, I realize that I should, but there's a mental health component too. It's like I'm not motivated to go do something else because that I wanted to do what I went to school for. So, yeah, I could make money. It's not going to give my life purpose. So, I mean, people like, I don't know if y'all listened to that last live stream, but it was about me like trying to talk me. First of all, I never said I was going to delete myself, but my point is that at some point I reserve that as an option. I'm not saying when or how I'm going to do it. It is what it is. I'm not even willing to discuss it at this point because I don't think anybody can say anything that's going to help me. I've already come to my own resolution about that. Um, and I accept things as they are. But just giving me an alternative that gives me the opportunity to make money is not going to change things because I went to school for a very specific purpose, which was to help people to fight the system. And now I'm not able to use my training and my skill set in a manner which you know, sacrifice years of my life pursuing. So, there really is no substitution for it. Like when I realize how fucked up the legal system is, how it's really just a facade, it's really just a dog and pony show. Um I was very disillusioned, and it's something that bothers me every day. I get very triggered when people talk about, "Oh, so and so is going to law school," and they're so optimistic. I'm like, good luck with that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people make it because they don't really care about the corruption and that the law really doesn't matter. Because I didn't know better either. I thought that the law actually meant something, and that if you learned the law, that you could actually use it to affect change. But when I saw the way that things are, um, it just shattered my entire perspective of life. And I know a lot of people don't care because they're making so much money. And so to them, making money is an end unto itself because it allows them to provide for their family. But here's the thing, the truth of the matter is that there are a lot of attorneys, or not just attorneys, but people who engage in professions that don't give their life purpose, and they're constantly going to meditation retreats, they're seeking therapy, they hate their lives, but they try to make up for it to say, "Oh, I'm making a lot of money, my life is wonderful," and they take these lavish vacations and things, but they still feel empty on the inside because they know that that vocation doesn't give their life purpose. And so having a meaningful vocation is crucial for most people. They don't reach their true potential without it. And without it, they basically go around causing havoc or wreaking havoc on the world. They're miserable. They don't understand why they're here. And it's one thing for most people because they didn't think about it. They never made any plans. Well, their parents never helped them to make any plans. They didn't make any sacrifice. They never made any investment. They basically playing it by ear, living day by day, hoping for the best. And then I don't know how they do this. I don't know how they go through high school and everything else and not think about what they're going to do with their lives, but then they end up working at a gas station or something. I don't know how people are content with that. But what I see is that a lot of people end up playing video games or um, engaging in some type of distraction. And this is why a lot of people have children, by the way, because now they know that their life doesn't have purpose, but they try to find some kind of substitute to say, oh, well, at least my job is shitty, but at least I can be a parent. Right? That's the one thing that they feel that they can control. Even though you don't even control that because the government has this hand in that. I mean, you don't even get to decide how you're going to discipline your children, which I'm against corporal punishment. But you don't get to discipline your children the way that you want. You don't get to educate your children the way that you want. You have very little control over your child. The government can just come and take your fucking child. So the child is not yours. You think that is yours, but it's not, or not it, but he or she is yours. The child is not yours. Um. Oh, thank you, Renaissance Ratchet. Um. You're basically saying people don't have meaning in their life, so they find copes to deal with the lack of purpose. Yes, it's crucial, and most people. I don't know how they find meaning in life, but they try to find a substitute. They find meaning through religion, or they try to escape it through drugs, or some other means, and it's never there is no substitute. You have to have something. This is why it's so important for families to have a family trade or something. Like you shouldn't be left to figure this stuff out. I mean, I made good choices given my upbringing. I'm lucky that I even graduated college, let alone graduate school. But based on my upbringing, I had no support whatsoever. My parents didn't help me plan anything. When I was about to graduate high school, my ex-mom told me to take up a trade. I'm like, really? That's all you think I'm capable of doing? Is not that there's anything wrong with blue collar work, but again, I wanted to change society, and she didn't see my potential. And then my dad was narcissistic. He didn't. I think he was jealous. He didn't go to my graduation, and this made it all about himself. And all the stuff that I was dealing with was so draining. Um, my ex-mom was trying to use like the fact that I graduated law school as bragging rights for herself. She stressed me out to an extreme point of depression where I was ready to delete myself because um I told her like I may not pass the bar exam. Like, don't go around bragging. Like, don't make a big deal about it until it actually happens. Because I graduated doesn't mean anything. I still don't have my license. And she was extremely ignorant. Oh, it is a big deal when my son graduates law school. She kept telling everybody about it. It's like I couldn't hear the end of it. All these people kept calling me, and it was all because she kept hyping me up. I kept begging her to fucking stop. She wouldn't stop. She made it all about herself. Um, and then I didn't pass the bar exam, but she kept bringing up. I couldn't. I mean, it's like I wanted to be sensitive about her feelings, and it's like I'm a son. I'm supposed to respect my elders and my parents, but this shit that she was doing was so over the top. She would send me a birthday card and say, "Happy birthday. I hope you're doing." Or no, she said, "I know you're doing something good with your law degree." And I'm like, you must know something that I don't know because I'm working at fucking 7-Eleven for fucking minimum wage. And this was after law school, by the way. And by the way, when I was working at 7-Eleven, somebody came in the store somebody from law school. I don't know how the hell he came to that specific 7-Eleven because I'm in a completely different state. There was a football game going on that weekend, and I was so fucking humiliated. I just went in the back, and he was just like, "Oh no, it's cool." Like he was trying to be. I'm like, "No, it's not cool." And so after that shit, I went back to school and got my master's degree to try to do something else. But you know what? If I had um more intelligent parents, they could have helped me make better decisions. I wouldn't have chose either of those degrees. I would have chosen a STEM program because that basically has guaranteed work. It's recession proof. This yeah, I just made some bad choices because I didn't have anybody helping me. They were just so glad to. Well, my mom was glad, ex-mom. My dad, again, he was jealous. Just basically being negative and trying to down talk me and stuff. And my surviving America says my family also tries to turn my stuff to be about them taking pride in it, and it's distracting. Yeah, and I know she probably. I don't. I can. I'm not even going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to say that she was well intentioned. No, she didn't give a fuck. She wanted me to validate her. I was the golden child, right? Because narcissistic parents have it. But by the way, both of my parents are narcissists. I wasn't sure. I thought my ex-mom, was histrionic, but no, she's yeah, it's a different form of narcissism. I don't know. But she's definitely narcissistic. Let me read something. Yeah, I wanted to make a positive difference too, just not all about money. Just speak my mind says if your life has no meaning, it doesn't make sense to bring life into this world just so they can grow up and realize that their life also is meaningless. It becomes a vicious cycle. Yes, exactly. Um, The only meaning of life is survival. Our purpose is to survive, but it's really subjective. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm surviving, but I still feel fucking empty. That's why when people ask me like, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working a fucking shitty job that I fucking hate, and I got to put on fake." Stop fucking asking me how I'm doing. You know, I don't. Well, I don't. Maybe they don't know. But people are always saying, "Oh." But by the way, I didn't disclose any of my education, like, because they would never fucking hire me. I'm way overqualified for this shit. But if they only knew, if they only knew that, yeah, I have way more education. That's the reason why they won't hire me. It's like if I go to any fucking job, 9 times out of 10, well, probably 10 times out of 10, I'm going to have far more education than the person who's interviewing me, and yeah, they take it as, a blow to their ego, or they see me as a threat. I'm like, even when I try to take those little like entry level like legal position, because Judge Joe Brown said, "Oh, you can go work for the EEOC." No, when I went to the EEOC, there was this bitch who was threatened by me. She had one of those positions that Judge Joe Brown was saying I should take, and she was saying, "Oh, well, you got a law degree. You ain't so I'm like, "I never said I was special." And she was trying to show that she was smarter than me. And I'm like, they always do that shit. I did an internship and I was real humble. I didn't think I was anything special. But once they found out I had a law degree, they basically were conspiring to sabotage me. Like I was going to come in and take their fucking job. I'm like, I'm not trying to, I'm listen, I went from working at fucking 7-Eleven, and then I was delivering phone books. Um, I did some fucking, what do you call that? Telemarketing shit. I've done all kind of low level jobs just to fucking survive. And I finally, like I said, I went back to get a master's degree, and then I mean, I'm doing okay. I'm doing much better than I was before, but I was struggling for a real long time. And people think that just because you have education that you have money or that you don't need help. And yeah, why would somebody feel like I need help when I have more education than them? So I decided to stop telling people. Like I don't tell people because yeah, they just start conspiring against you and like because when I was doing that internship, they just thought they thought I looked young, right? And so they thought I was this judge said that she thought I was in high school. I'm like, "No, I'm not a fucking high schooler." I was, like, in my late 20s, but she thought I was super I'm like, I would have thought she would have assumed I was at least in college or no, she thought I was much younger and, she didn't realize anyway, I'm just ranting on and on. This is not really what I came on here to talk about. Okay, y'all, so like I said, what I really wanted to talk about was how when they create these barriers to entry, right, they are really destroying your life. And people don't think that it's a big deal. They just think, oh well, you wouldn't want someone who isn't licensed to perform brain surgery on you. Actually, I think I should be able to decide that it's my fucking brain. I don't think the government should be deciding that. It should be a free market where people get to choose whoever they want. If you want to choose an unlicensed attorney to represent you in a court of law, that should be your right. If it's your right, you have the right to represent yourself, then you should have the right to transfer that to someone else. The same way with I don't know, medical services. If you have so I can represent myself, I should be able to transfer that to somebody else. Or I have the right to make medical decisions, but yet you need a fucking prescription from a doctor to tell you, or you don't even have the right to do certain things without it's like even if you do a what do you call that? Do not resuscitate directive is always has to be under the advice. Oh, I consulted with a physician and under their advisement, I waive. It's like, no, it's not under their advisement. it's my fucking right, and I fucking said that I don't want fucking medical treatment if I'm on my fucking deathbed. Why do I need to defer to somebody else? But this is the way everything has been. Everything is based on credentialism. These fucking occupational licenses requirements for everything. To me, occupational licenses are extremely tyrannical, and I don't think people realize how serious it is. It just by preventing your ability to engage in your profession of choice, they're literally destroying your life. It's like the government should not have that much power. They should be able to decide who eats or starves. Like no, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like anarchy is the only way that you can have the right to self determination. You can't say that you have free will when you support the government being able to control and dictate every aspect of our lives. I'm sorry, we're not free just because we're living under a republic, just because we have some limited say in what goes on. That doesn't mean that the government is controlling your daily life, and they don't represent the will of the people anyway. They're basically telling you what your will should be, and then the media fucking indoctrinates everyone. You think that you support um vaccines because that's you made that decision of your own volition, but really you sat up and watched hours and hours of programming, and the government scared you, and now you're scared shitless, so you think, oh, everyone should get vaccinated. It's like, stop watching that fucking box, especially if you're not a free thinker, right? Because I saw people watching that fucking box when they first announced that COVID shit, and I saw them fucking in a daze of stupor. It was like they were almost hypnotized. Like, I'm like, why are y'all watching that trite? Why are y'all watching this bullshit? But no, it's almost like you could wave your hand in front of their fucking eyes and they wouldn't even fucking see it because they're so fucking programmed. They're in a fucking trance watching that fucking bullshit. Oh, we need the government to fucking protect us because we're too stupid to make our own fucking decisions. Okay, y'all, that's my rant for the night. The government has too much power. Yeah, they have too much power. But people think that they're participants in it, so it makes them feel like they're not as oppressed as they actually are. Just because you went to a ballot, and did a straight party ticket, you don't even know who the hell you voted for. You think that you actually participated in your own destiny. You didn't. You didn't. Only thing you did was legitimize the system which is controlling you. By voting, you just said, "Oh, these people, I'm going to elect my oppressors. I'm going to put people in charge to make me their fucking slave." Like, yeah, you didn't participate in that shit at all. They told you didn't even research who the fuck you voted for. You just fucking did a straight party ticket. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. You fucking okay, y'all. I don't want to insult because I know some of y'all probably do it. I don't want to be insulting. Um, I'm saying this as someone who has actually participated in politics, and because I wasn't a part of the two party system, nobody even fucking knew who the fuck I was. And then when they found out later, oh, I would have voted for you if I knew. Well, you didn't research it. You didn't do shit. When I okay, y'all, I'm ranting, and I really didn't mean to go off on this tangent, but yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah, this don't think that you're a good person because you support democracy, even though it's a republic. It's all tyrannical, and by participating in the shit, you're actively destroying people's lives. I just don't understand how when you're oppressed, you have this Stockholm syndrome to align yourself with your oppressor to say, oh well, we support keeping certain people out of their chosen vocation rather than allowing people the freedom to choose who they want, right? Just because you want to be a dumbass and you need the government to protect you to screen out unscrupulous practitioners to say, oh, well, I'm too stupid to know who can perform medical services for me. So I need the government to keep out everyone. No, you may be a fucking dumbass, but other people are smart enough to make decisions for themselves. So just because you're fucking stupid, that doesn't mean that everyone else should have their liberty restrained. Okay, y'all. Yeah, I don't think there's much more I can say about it. Um, I think I'm going to call it a night. Y'all have a good one.